Is Polkadot cooked? A lot of people have been asking me that as of late, and the reason why is because Moonbeam, which is historically the most popular project out there on Polkadot, recently announced that they're going to be leaving Polkadot, which naturally, of course, a lot of people have been thinking, hey, doesn't this mean that Polkadot is cooked? Its most popular project is going to be leaving. But I don't think it's necessarily cooked. I don't think it's game over. And let me explain why in today's video, and I'll talk about the price chart later. But I first want to clarify, nothing I say is financial advice. I'm not telling anyone to do anything, and this is just my personal perspective. Now, I'm just going to give some context and a bit of a background information as to why Moonbeam historically has been so popular and why leaving doesn't necessarily concern me. But I first want to start off by saying that, hey, you know what? When it comes to Moonbeam, it's been having its struggles as of late, so I get why it wants to move. But if we take a look at it, Moonbeam does have amazing fundamentals, so it makes sense why leaving Polkadot kind of stings a little bit. Take a look at it, right? Moonbeam historically offers the power of Polkadot while at the same time maintaining the ease of use of Ethereum. If we take a look at Moonbeam, its native token called Glimmer, the market cap hasn't been doing too good as of late. It's at around $10 million, so it's really not doing too much. So it makes sense why they want to move to a place like Base, which is Coinbase's layer 2, and having this heavy emphasis in regard to AI, because AI, it's this pretty big narrative as of right now when it comes to stocks. So if it were to trickle over into this space, Moonbeam, they want to prepare for that. So it kind of makes sense. But another thing when it comes to Polkadot is the fact that Moonbeam has a canary network, which is called Moonriver. Now, Moonriver is actually on Polkadot's canary network, which is called Kusama. But then guess what? Moonriver is also going to be leaving Kusama and moving over into Base. So it's a double sting, basically. Moonbeam is leaving Polkadot, and then Moonriver is leaving Kusama. But is it necessarily game over, though? I don't think about it that way, just because fundamentally nothing bad has happened to Polkadot, in my opinion, in terms of its core fundamentals. Let's think about this, right? Polkadot is focused on interoperability. It's focused on connecting blockchains together. That core concept hasn't changed. There's still Polkadot 2.0. There's an aspect of elastic scaling when it comes to that. Polkadot has over 1 million holders. Sure, it's not doing the best, so it makes sense why Moonbeam wants to leave, but sometimes we also have to consider what is doing so good as of right now. Bitcoin's not doing good, Ethereum's not doing good, Solana, Polkadot's not doing good either. So it's just a normal thing, and things come and go when it comes to this space. It doesn't determine whether or not Polkadot is going to do good or bad moving forward if projects want to leave. Projects wanting to leave, that's their choice. You know, who am I to say they're right or they're wrong? I can't say that. It's their choice. But at the same time, nothing bad fundamentally happened to Polkadot, in my opinion. The core fundamentals are still there. Moonbeam leaving, basically, kind of gives me the vibe of Conor McGregor as of late. And let me explain what I mean by this. If we take a look at Conor McGregor, he recently lost to Max Holloway. Very disappointing, right? I mean, he tried to do like some random move and then he blew out his knee or whatever. So it ended pretty quickly. Now, the thing is this. Would Conor McGregor winning, and let's say maybe if he becomes a champion again, who knows, right? I'm just randomly saying a hypothetical. Would that be awesome for the UFC? Of course, if that was the case, that would be fantastic. He's the UFC's biggest star. But if he doesn't win, and if he never becomes champion again, or let's say he retires or whatever, I mean, the show still goes on. The UFC is still the UFC at the end of the day. The core principle doesn't change. Hey, you know what? These stars, they come and go. George St. Pierre, he retired. The UFC still continues. If Conor McGregor were to retire, the UFC still continues. It's the same thing like Polkadot. Okay, if Moonbeam leaves, sure, it's disappointing. It would be awesome if Moonbeam still stayed, but Polkadot, the show still goes on. It's still focused on interoperability. That didn't change. It still has over 1 million holders. I'm sure some people have left probably because Moonbeam announced that they're going to be leaving, but hey, you know, there's still over 1 million people that apparently, I guess, are still holding Polkadot. I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but I'm just saying, the show kind of still goes on when it comes to Polkadot. The market's not doing the best? Sure. But a lot of projects are also not doing the best. It's not only just Polkadot. So when it comes to Polkadot, Moonbeam leaving is the equivalent of Conor McGregor losing. It's not so good, I guess, for the UFC, but hey, you know what? The show still goes on. It would be awesome if he won, but the show still goes on with or without him winning, I suppose. So when it comes to the case of Polkadot, Moonbeam leaving, you know, hey, it's a bump in the road, but I guess the show still goes on. Polkadot, nothing bad fundamentally happened to it. So I'm sure that, again, Polkadot also being below $1 is very concerning, but at the same time, many projects out there are down. It's not like when it comes to Polkadot, it's the only one that's being low. That's actually not the case. So when I take a look at this, you know what, Moonbeam, best of luck to them, right? I mean, they're going to be moving to base, they're going to be focusing on AI. You know what? More power to them. They're going to be trying something new. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work out, but who knows, right? They don't know if they don't try. So I get why they want a refresh, basically. They want to try something new. But when it comes to Polkadot, the show is still going to go on. Projects are going to come and go, but Polkadot is not designed anyways to be reliant on just Moonbeam. That's not the case. Polkadot is designed in a way where things can come and go, but the core principle still stays. So when I take a look at that, it's easy for me to say that, hey, this is cooked, right? It's below $1. Moonbeam is leaving. Moon River is leaving Kusama. This is really bad. I can easily think about it that way, but on the flip side, the way to take a look at it is what bad thing fundamentally happened to it? The core use case is still there. You know what? Moonbeam leaves, who knows? Maybe if the market were to take off, something else enters. Maybe something else starts building on there. We don't really know. That's the thing. So yeah, sure, Moonbeam could leave, but something else could enter moving forward. It's just the market isn't doing the best, so we probably won't see another Moonbeam archetype joining, I guess, Polkadot anytime soon, or building on there, I suppose. But hey, the show still goes on. That's the way to take a look at it. And low prices, okay, I get it. It's below $1, right? As a matter of fact, Polkadot recently reached a new all-time low about 2 weeks ago. So it wasn't that good. Of course, naturally, if a project reaches a new all-time low, literally the lowest it's ever been in history, yeah, how is that good? We're only around 5% above that, by the way, as of right now. But the thing is this, low prices, it could either be a negative or a positive thing. It really depends on the frame of mind. My kind of mindset is, this is a project as of right now that is literally only around 5% away from its all-time low. But on the flip side, if we take a look at its all-time high, it's $55. So, of course, we're over 55 times lower than that. Now, the thing is, the dip, right? I mean, some people may like it, some people don't, but I don't mind it. Now, personally, it's not like because this is hovering at around an all-time low, it's not like I'm just going to believe in this 100%. Not necessarily like that. What I'm doing is I'm dollar cost averaging once a month. That's it. I don't want to do any more than that, but I do it for my favorite projects. Now, if we take a look at, again, the dip, right? I don't mind it because for me, because I'm looking to dollar cost average, I don't mind things being low. That's just my point of view. I mean, if I was a real estate developer, would I want the property to be cheap or expensive? I mean, I'd want it to be as low as possible, hypothetically, for acquiring, right, when it comes to property. I just kind of think about it no differently. Now, I'm not, again, telling anyone to do anything. This is just my personal opinion. But I'm just saying, this is just personally my mindset as of right now. When it comes to Polkadot, let's take this into consideration. The price, when it comes to it, was around $4 just back in September. And assuming that we're around 80 cents as of right now, if we take a look at that, literally, we're over 5 times lower than September of 2025. September of 2025 wasn't even really that good anyways when it comes to Polkadot. It was considered a little bit of a bearish sort of baseline, but we're around 5 times lower than that as of right now. So if it could just go back to September of 2025 levels, it already feels a little bit like an altcoin season to me just because we're so low as of right now. Now, could it ever return back to there? We'll wait and see. But also, people like to say, well, it can't return back to there because, back in September 2025, Moonbeam was still in Polkadot. It didn't announce that it was leaving back then. I get that. But if we take a look at Moonbeam and its native token called Glimmer, let's take this into consideration. The market cap is literally around $10 million as of right now. So it's not like it's such a massive project. I mean, it's the most popular project on Polkadot, but Moonbeam leaving? I don't think it would change too much to the future of Polkadot in such a drastic way. It could affect Moonbeam in a drastic way moving forward, especially if, let's say, its AI narrative were to take off, but it wouldn't really affect Polkadot in such a negative way, in my opinion, especially moving forward, just because Moonbeam wasn't so massive to begin with, right, in the grand scheme of things. Now, don't get me wrong, Moonbeam historically I thought had a pretty good use case, but at the same time as well, it's not like Moonbeam leaving is going to affect Polkadot so much in the grand scheme of things. So if, let's say, Polkadot maybe were to even return back to $5, I don't think it would need Moonbeam to be there still. I think, if anything, what would need to happen is a big change in market sentiment. That's kind of it. So this doesn't concern me, and I don't think $5 was even too much of an impossible task anyways. I mean, we just saw it back in September, less than a year ago, when it comes to Polkadot. But yeah, I'm still waiting though. But nonetheless as well, if I take a look at it, when it comes to Polkadot, let's take this into consideration. The maximum supply is 2.1 billion. They clarified that not too long ago. So when it comes to the hypothetical potential inflation, it's not as concerning anymore. Personally, from what I can see, that's just my perception though. I'm not telling anyone to do anything. And when I take a look at, as well, in the case of Polkadot, still focus on interoperability, has Polkadot 2.0, has an aspect of elastic scaling, has over 1 million holders. This is a project that's currently ranked 47th in the world in terms of market cap. 47th. So if this is so bad, if this is cooked, does it mean that a project that's ranked like 48th and below is all cooked? A lot of people would say no, right? So how would it make sense that Polkadot is cooked but they're not? Now let's take this again into consideration. Polkadot is ranked 47th as of right now. Pepe, which is a meme, I get it, but it's ranked 51st in the world as of right now in terms of market cap. A lot of people would say that's not cooked, but that's ranked lower than Polkadot as of right now. But besides that point, if we take a look at Polygon, it's ranked 60th as of right now. Is that cooked? A lot of people would say no. But again, Polkadot is ranked higher than that. If we take a look at Cosmos, ranked 61st, Render ranked 62nd, Quant 63rd. Again, Algorand ranked 66th as of right now. We take a look at Flare, which is ranked 75th. Pancake ranked 83rd. We take a look at, in the case of Polkadot, it's ranked higher than all that. So how can they not be cooked, but then suddenly Polkadot is cooked? I don't get it. Just because Moonbeam is leaving? I mean, it's a sting. I mean, it's not good, I suppose. It's a bump in the road, but the show still goes on, hypothetically, in my opinion. So I'm still waiting as of right now. I'm still holding. I mean, I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but that's just what I'm doing. But as of right now, I'm still waiting. If the only thing I have to wait for is a change in market sentiment, yeah, I'll gladly wait. I don't mind waiting. What am I in a hurry for? You know, so I'm just still going to be waiting. But at the same time, long story short, I don't think Polkadot is cooked. And hey, you know what? Moonbeam, they want to leave. That's their choice. I'll just wait and see what happens, because usually if the market takes off, people could care less about this type of stuff sometimes. You know, I'm sure Ethereum had some projects leaving it back then. Is it prioritized as of right now? No, not really. Why? Because Ethereum, you know, sure, it's had a pullback, but because it's kind of massive, no one really cares about however many projects left it in the past. I kind of view it no differently here. I mean, Polkadot, it's natural. Some are going to leave, some are going to enter. It's just the way it is. Polkadot, focus on connecting blockchains together. Naturally, some projects are going to leave, some projects are naturally going to enter. So I don't think it's the end of the hypothetical show, if that kind of makes sense. I think the show still goes on when it comes to Polkadot fundamentally, so I don't think it's cooked. I'm not concerned. It's a sting, of course, that Moonbeam is leaving, but I don't think it's like the end, basically, when it comes to Polkadot. They're still going to do its thing. Moonbeam's going to do its thing. So I just don't think it's cooked, personally, for me. But I'm not telling anyone to do anything. I'll be sure to make more updates, though, moving forward when it comes to Polkadot. So hopefully, you all stay tuned for that. I want to say thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a very wonderful and amazing day.